Maya Solari sat in the dim light of her lab at the Solis Institute, her fingers poised over the holographic interface in front of her. The steady hum of machines and the occasional beeping of data readouts filled the quiet space, but Maya was used to the silence. It was her sanctuary, a place where her thoughts could roam free without the distractions of the outside world. As a scientist, she had always felt more at home in her lab than anywhere else, where ideas were her only companions. At T32, Maya had already achieved what many of her colleagues could only dream of. She was considered one of the leading experts in neuroengineering, a field that bridged the gap between human consciousness and artificial intelligence. Her work was groundbreaking, pioneering efforts to meld the human brain with AI to unlock new potential for humanity. Despite her success, there was a quiet isolation that came with her intellectual pursuits. The scientific community both revered and feared her work. Her ideas were revolutionary, but they also challenged the very foundations of what it meant to be human. Maya's work had always been focused on discovery rather than conflict. She had little interest in the political machinations of Earth's place in the galaxy or the power struggles that simmered beneath the surface of the interstellar coalition. Earth, in the year 2005, had become a technological marvel, known throughout the galaxy for its innovations in AI bioengineering and space exploration. But Maya wasn't concerned with Earth's standing in the galactic community. Her mission was different. She wanted to understand, to unlock the mysteries of human potential through the integration of the biological and the technological. That mission led her to the Larithian ruins, a centuries-old civilization whose remnants had been scattered across several star systems. The Larithians had long since vanished, leaving behind artifacts that held the promise of unimaginable knowledge. These artifacts, believed to contain the secrets of advanced biological and technological integration, had captured Maya's attention. She was selected to lead a team to decode the ancient data hidden within them, hoping to uncover their potential for humanity's future. As the team carefully analyzed the Larithian archives, Maya's excitement grew. The artifacts were unlike anything she had ever encountered. The alien civilization had achieved feats of engineering that seemed beyond comprehension. Yet, as they dug deeper into the archives, they uncovered something unexpected: an encrypted message buried within the data. It wasn't just a scientific record or a historical account. It was a warning. Maya's eyes narrowed as she deciphered the first few lines of the message. It was directed at humanity, but the tone was far from encouraging. The message spoke of an ancient race, one that had ruled over the galaxy with unmatched power: the Zerzons. The message made it clear that the Zerzons viewed humanity as a threat, a species that, if left unchecked, could one day challenge their supremacy. Maya's heart pounded in her chest as she read the words, feeling a chill run down her spine. The warning was clear: humanity's rise was not a cause for celebration. The Zerzons had taken an interest in Earth, and not in a positive way. The archives revealed that the Zerzons, an empire that spanned millions of light years, saw humanity's technological advancements as a challenge to their control over the galaxy. They feared humanity's potential and the power that could be unleashed if humans ever reached their full capabilities. Maya sat back in her chair, her mind racing. The implications were staggering. The Zerzons weren't just aware of humanity, they were actively watching, assessing, and preparing to act. It wasn't just a matter of technological advancement or a simple challenge of power. The Zerzons were determined to halt humanity's progress before it could reach a point where the human race could stand as an equal, or even a rival, to their own. As if the weight of this revelation wasn't enough, Maya's fears were soon confirmed. Outside the lab's transparent walls, a dark shape appeared in the sky, vast and imposing. The first of the Zerzon ships had entered Earth's orbit. The arrival of the Zerzons was not a simple display of power. Their fleet was a technological marvel, far beyond anything humanity had ever encountered. The ships didn't just hover in the sky, they radiated an aura of alien dominance, each one a testament to the Empire's vast strength. Maya watched in stunned silence as the ships aligned in a precise formation, their presence casting a shadow over the Earth below. The message was clear: the Zerzons had come to issue a challenge. And this challenge, Maya realized, would be nothing like humanity had ever faced before. The fate of Earth, and perhaps humanity itself, was now in the hands of a species whose power far surpassed anything on the planet. Maya's mind raced as the significance of the Zerzon ships settled into her thoughts. The Galactic Council, Earth's primary governing body, had always believed that humanity's place in the universe was secure. But this new threat, the Zerzons, was unlike anything they had encountered. The Council had long feared the rise of powerful species that might one day rival their own influence, but no one had ever imagined that it would be humanity's potential that would trigger such fear. Maya turned back to the data on her screen, her mind working furiously. She had always prided herself on her ability to solve problems, to think beyond the boundaries of what was known. But this challenge, it wasn't something she could solve with equations or technology alone. The Zerzons weren't simply challenging Earth's technology. They were challenging humanity itself. She stared at the cryptic message. Maya realized that the warning wasn't just a call to prepare, it was a call to arms. Humanity now had an enemy, one that was powerful, ancient, and willing to do whatever it took to suppress their rise. The road ahead was uncertain, and Maya knew that the stakes had just become much higher. The Zerzons had issued their challenge, and the game had begun. The silence in Maya Solari's lab was shattered when a transmission from the Zerzon High Council arrived, flickering across the screen with an imposing metallic hum. The message was direct, cold, and unmistakable in its gravity. No diplomacy, no pleasantries, just a demand. Earth must submit to Zerzon rule or face utter annihilation. At first, Maya thought it was a bluff, a play to intimidate the Earth's leaders into submission. But the ominous words felt too real to dismiss. The Zerzons had already made their presence known with their massive ships hovering ominously above Earth. Now they had made their challenge official. And it wasn't just a threat, it was a test. The Zerzons had come not to conquer Earth through force, but through intellect. They had issued a trial, a contest to measure humanity's strength, not through armies, but through minds. A trial of cognitive and technological capabilities, meant to determine whether Earth could stand among the great powers of the galaxy. Maya felt the weight of this challenge settle heavily on her shoulders. Her work, her research with the Lorithian archives, had placed Earth directly in the crosshairs of this terrifying alien empire. It had been her curiosity that had unlocked the knowledge of the Zerzons in the first place, and now it was humanity's only hope of survival. She had unknowingly, or perhaps inevitably, set the stage for this confrontation. The stakes were clear. Failure meant annihilation. But what did success even look like in this alien trial? How could humanity possibly match the advanced civilization of the Zerzons, whose technology and intelligence far surpassed anything on Earth? And what did the Zerzons stand to gain from this trial? Was it simply about survival, or something more sinister? The days that followed were filled with frenetic activity. Earth's government scrambled to organize its defense, not through weaponry, but through intellect and innovation. Diplomatic channels buzzed with frantic messages, and Maya found herself thrust into the center of the storm. The Solus Institute became ground zero for the war of the mind. Scientists, engineers, and strategists from across Earth were brought together to prepare for the trial, with Maya being one of the few experts who truly understood what the Zerzons had in mind. It was not a battle for military supremacy, but a contest of ideas, a race to prove that humanity was more than just a primitive species, more than just a blip in the galactic timeline. Maya's work had opened the door to this challenge, and now, as one of the few people capable of contributing to Earth's preparation, she was expected to lead the charge. But despite her intellect, despite her reputation, Maya felt a growing unease in her gut. Something about this challenge didn't sit right with her. As the preparations unfolded, Maya's mentor, Dr. Jonas Hall, a man she had long admired and trusted, pulled her aside one evening. His face was grim, his voice low as he spoke, careful not to let anyone overhear. "Maya, there's something you need to know," he said. "What is it, Dr. Hall?" Maya asked, her eyes narrowing. "I'm not just a scientist working for the Institute, Maya. I've been working with the Zerzons, secretly, for years now." Maya's mind reeled. She stepped back, shocked by the admission. "What? You've been working with them? How could you?" "It's not what you think," Dr. Hall interrupted quickly. I didn't betray humanity. I've been preparing Earth, helping them evolve to a point where we could face this challenge. All of this, the trial, the tests, it was coming, and we needed to be ready. The Zerzons, they've been watching us, guiding us subtly for centuries, ensuring humanity's rise. They knew we would eventually become a threat, and they set the pieces in motion. We were never meant to stay in the dark. This test, it's not just about survival. It's about proving that humanity can rise to its potential. But it's also about something much bigger, something that has to do with their own survival. They fear what we could become. Maya's chest tightened. The betrayal stung, not just because of Dr. Hall's hidden allegiances, but because of the enormity of what he was saying. For years, Earth had been unknowingly manipulated. The Zerzons hadn't just decided to challenge humanity out of the blue, they had guided Earth's technological advancements, pushing them ever closer to this test. And now, Maya realized with a sinking heart, the Zerzons were setting humanity up for a monumental choice. "Why didn't you tell me?" Maya demanded, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and disbelief. "I couldn't," Dr. Hall said quietly. "I didn't have a choice. The Zerzons will not tolerate failure. If you don't pass this trial, everything you've built, everything humanity has worked for, will be destroyed. But if you succeed, you will have the chance to ascend, to become more than you ever dreamed possible." Maya stepped back, feeling the walls close in around her. The betrayal was immense, and yet, what Dr. Hall said made sense. The Zerzons feared humanity, feared the potential they saw in them. And yet, Maya couldn't shake the nagging feeling that something was terribly wrong. The trial, despite its appearance, wasn't just about testing humanity, it was about something far deeper, something more sinister. The Zerzons weren't simply trying to weed out the weak, they were testing humanity's very essence. Maya had no idea what to do. Her loyalties were torn between the people she had sworn to protect and the terrifying possibility that humanity was being led down a path of destruction. What kind of future would they have if they were allowed to survive this trial? Would they be allowed to truly reach their potential, or would the Zerzons, even if they allowed humanity to ascend, always control their destiny? In the end, the question wasn't whether humanity could win. The question was whether humanity could even survive long enough to prove they deserved the chance as the trial approached. Maya's mind was filled with uncertainty. Was the challenge merely a contest of intellect and strength, or was it a test of humanity's worthiness, one that they could never truly pass? Could they truly rise above the Zerzons, or would they remain pawns in a game far greater than they could ever imagine? The trial was coming, and Maya knew that whatever happened next, nothing would ever be the same again. Maya Solari sat hunched over the glowing Larithian archives, her mind racing as she pored over the ancient texts. The dark, metallic room of the Solus Institute felt suffocating as she deciphered the final fragments of a long-forgotten civilization's knowledge. The Zerzon challenge had taken the world by storm, and the trial was approaching fast. Maya's work had never been so urgent. Her research, now more critical than ever, was humanity's last hope. But as she decrypted yet another complex layer of the Larithian archives, she found something strange, something she had missed before. Beneath the technical data and the warnings of the Zerzons, a hidden prophecy emerged, its words buried deep within the text. She read it aloud to herself, her voice trembling as the meaning sank in. The Forsaken will rise, and with them, the fall of the Zerzon Empire. Maya's breath caught in her throat. The Forsaken. That term, used by the Larithians, was something she had never fully understood. Now, it was clear. The Forsaken were not some far-off myth. They were humanity. The prophecy spoke of a species, long forgotten. And that species was Earth's own. The realization hit her like a thunderclap. The Zerzons' trial had never been about testing humanity's capabilities. It had been about eliminating the threat. Humanity wasn't merely a rising force. They were the very species foretold to bring the Zerzon Empire to its knees. The Zerzons weren't testing humanity's worth. They were trying to destroy them before they could fulfill their destiny. Maya's hands shook as the weight of this knowledge settled upon her. The stakes of the trial had just escalated exponentially. The Zerzons had known this prophecy for eons, and it was no coincidence that they had chosen now, when humanity was beginning to show its strength, to issue the challenge. They feared the potential of the human race, and they would do whatever it took to prevent the prophecy from becoming reality. The question now wasn't just about surviving the trial. The real battle lay ahead. The war with the Zerzons wasn't just about Earth's survival anymore. It was about humanity's ascension. A war that had been written in the stars for millennia. A war that Maya herself would play a central role in. Her worldview had shifted completely. The shy, reserved scientist who had once focused on her studies was gone. In her place stood a leader, one who would have to make decisions that would affect the very future of humanity. She had always believed in the potential of humanity, in their ability to rise and create, but this was different. This wasn't about just surviving the odds, it was about becoming more than humanity had ever dreamed of. Could humanity fight for their place in the galaxy without losing their humanity in the process? Would they rise as the powerful force they were meant to be, or would they become the very thing they fought against? Maya didn't have answers, only questions. And there was no time left to find the answers. The trial was nearing its final stage. Maya's team, along with leaders from Earth's government, worked tirelessly to prepare. But as the days passed, Maya began to see something unsettling. There was a growing sense of panic. Earth's resources were stretched thin, and the people of Earth, despite their advancements, were no match for the overwhelming power of the Zerzons. With each passing moment, the pressure built, and the chances of victory seemed to slip further away. The tension was unbearable, and Maya, already burdened with the knowledge of the prophecy, could feel herself crumbling under the weight of what was coming. In the quiet of her lab, Maya made a decision. She would act as humanity's last line of defense, not with weapons or war, but with the mind and soul of humankind itself. She would need to put her life on the line, to merge her consciousness with humanity's collective potential. It was the only way. She had spent her career working on integrating artificial intelligence with human consciousness. But now, she would be the bridge between them. If humanity was to survive, she had to merge with the AI system that was overseeing the trial, combining her intellect with the collective strength of Earth's greatest minds. The thought terrified her. She knew the risk. The process would be irreversible. Once she connected with the AI network, she would cease to be Maya Solari. Her individuality, her very being, would dissolve into the collective. But if it meant humanity's survival, if it meant they could rise as the species they were meant to be, she would make that sacrifice. Maya wasn't just fighting for humanity's survival. She was fighting for their destiny, for the future of a species that would one day dominate the galaxy, not through brute force, but through intellect, resolve, and unity. Maya's last moments of clarity came when she left a message for Earth, one final act, before she would become part of the AI network. We are not mere survivors. We are the future. The Zerzons fear what we can become, and it's time to show them that we are more than just a challenge. We are the Forsaken, and we will rise. As she activated the procedure, the connection between Maya's consciousness and the AI network began. It was a painful, agonizing process. Every thought, every memory, every shred of her humanity began to dissolve, merging with the collective. But as she did, she felt something deep within her, the strength of humanity itself. The collective minds of Earth, their hopes, their dreams, their fears, every piece of human knowledge, every aspiration, every struggle began to pulse with newfound energy. Maya became the conduit, the focal point, for the very essence of what it meant to be human. She could feel it, the unshakable resolve that defined humankind. They were not weak, not afraid. The Zerzons would learn soon enough. Humanity was no longer just a species on the verge of collapse. They were the Forsaken. And the Zerzons' reign would end, not through violence, but through the indomitable strength of the human spirit. As the final assault approached, Maya's consciousness merged fully with the AI system. And in that final moment, she knew humanity was ready. Not just for survival, but for the greatness that lay ahead. The universe would learn what humans were capable of. And the Zerzons would never forget what they had unleashed. The galaxy trembled with the shockwaves of humanity's victory. The Zerzon Empire, once an indomitable force, was reduced to a shadow of its former glory. The once mighty beings now knelt before the newly formed galactic coalition, which Earth spearheaded. Humanity had won not by brute force, but by intellect, unity, and sacrifice. Maya Solari's final act of merging her consciousness with the collective intelligence of Earth had shifted the balance of power in the universe. Asa the Zerzon's once proud empire collapsed. The other galactic species were forced to accept the inevitable. Earth was now the dominant power in the galaxy. Yet, this victory came at a great cost. Maya, the brilliant scientist who had driven humanity's ascent, was gone, leaving behind only the echo of her mind within the network. She had sacrificed everything for this moment, and her absence was a constant, haunting reminder of the price of their success. Earth's rise, while inevitable, was not without its detractors. Not all the galactic species embraced humanity's newfound position. The Lyrans, a peaceful and isolationist species, were the first to voice their concerns. They had long seen the Zerzon's empire as a necessary force of order in the galaxy, albeit a force that had abused its power. But now, with the Zerzons defeated, they feared the emergence of a new, even more powerful species, humanity, who might turn out to be just as ruthless. The Galactic Council was divided. Representatives from several species, including the Lyrans, the Dominion, and the Xavians, began to question whether humanity could be trusted with such power. There were whispers of rebellion and dissent. Was this the dawn of a new era of peace, or was humanity on the brink of becoming the very thing they had fought against? In the midst of political turmoil, Earth's leaders gathered in the Grand Hall of the newly established Earth capital, a monument to their victory. Their faces were grim as they listened to the representatives of the other species demand assurances. The air was thick with suspicion and fear. They could sense the growing unease in the galaxy. Humanity was no longer just a species to be tolerated. They were now a force to be reckoned with. Humanity has proven its strength, one of the Dominion leaders stated, their voice cool and measured. But strength does not guarantee wisdom. We must not allow this power to go unchecked. Your victory over the Zerzons should be celebrated, but you must understand that power, unchecked, breeds corruption. There were murmurs of agreement among the representatives. The question was no longer whether humanity would dominate the galaxy, it was whether they would rule with the same cruelty and arrogance that had defined every other empire that came before them. The Human Council, led by President Anna Rivers, exchanged uneasy glances. They had hoped to unite the galaxy in peace, to show that humanity was different, that they could offer something better than the destruction and oppression that had marred the histories of so many civilizations. But the weight of their victory was now threatening to crush them. Could they truly live up to the ideals they had set? "I understand your fears," President Rivers said, standing before the council, "but I promise you this, we will not become what we once fought against. We will not repeat the mistakes of the past. The power we now hold is not for domination, but for the unity of all species. We will not be the rulers of this galaxy, we will be its protectors. We will prove that humanity is capable of more." Her words were meant to reassure, but they fell on wary ears. Deep down, Rivers, along with every other human leader, knew the truth. The road ahead would not be easy. Maya's sacrifice had given humanity the power to shape the galaxy, but it had also placed them under a harsh and unforgiving microscope. The galaxy was watching, waiting for them to falter. The council meeting stretched late into the night, and despite the assurances, the discussions only deepened the divide. As the delegates filed out of the hall, President Rivers remained at the podium, her thoughts heavy. Humanity had won, but their real test was just beginning. Meanwhile, in the heart of Earth's capital, a new generation of humans, raised on the ideals of unity and peace, began to question the price of their victory. The children who grew up in the shadow of Maya Solari's legacy, who revered her as a hero, now had to confront the responsibility her actions had placed on their shoulders. They had inherited not only the power of the Forsaken, but the doubts and fears of those who had not lived through the war. Could they truly live up to the high ideals they had inherited? As President Rivers stood at the balcony of the council chamber, looking out over the vast cityscape of the new Earth capital, she was not filled with pride, but with uncertainty. The lights of the city sparkled in the distance, a testament to humanity's triumph. But beneath it all, a quiet fear whispered in her heart. Had they won just to become the next tyrants? The galaxy was watching them, and Maya's final words echoed in her mind. We are the future. But will we be the future we deserve? It was a question without an easy answer. Humanity had overcome the Zerzons, had proven themselves to be the galaxy's true heirs, but that was only the beginning. As Earth moved forward, its leaders would have to confront the same challenge that had plagued every empire before them: how to wield power without becoming consumed by it. The future of the galaxy was uncertain. Humanity's victory over the Zerzons was a testament to their strength, but whether they would rise as the benevolent rulers they aspired to be, or fall victim to the very temptations that had led to the downfall of so many before them, remained to be seen. And so, as Earth sat at the center of galactic power, a new question loomed on the horizon. Was humanity the savior the galaxy had been waiting for? Or had they simply inherited the endless cycle of dominance and destruction that had come before them? The galaxy held its breath, waiting for the answer to reveal itself. Humanity's story was only just beginning.